Welcome back, everybody. As promised again, today we're going to talk about my new concepts, saw frame. And as always, I have a story. When I purchased this saw frame, I was getting ready to go to grad school. And my husband said to me, "You need to purchase some new tools. Are there any tools out there that are extravagant or might potentially make other people jealous?" And I said, "Well, I don't know about making other people jealous, but I've been eyeing this saw frame, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend the money because the saw frame I had worked just fine." And he said, "Look, you're getting a master's degree in metals. You need to take it seriously. It's time to upgrade to serious tools." Okay, so this was the first of my tool upgrades. The first question everyone asks me when they see this saw frame is it worth the money? I'm very happy that I spent the money on it. So, what are the nice features about this saw frame? Even considering how large it is, it's very lightweight compared to your standard saw frame. This is really handy when you do a lot of sawing. First, I'll show you how this saw frame works. It has these knobs here for holding down your saw blade, just like you would expect. So you put your saw blade in, tighten the knobs. Here's where it's different. It has this cam lever. You pull it over, just like that, and your saw blade's nice and tight. This is excellent if you do a lot of piercing and you're constantly taking your blade out and putting it back in. This saves so much time. I don't know about you, but when I first learned to load a saw blade, I was told, push the handle up against your sternum so that you can hold this end of the saw blade while you tighten the other end. That's painful. Even when I use a regular saw frame, I don't do that. So, for that matter, this is really handy. Another reason I like this saw frame is because it has a very deep throat, but is still very rigid. Like, it doesn't bend. How many times have you been using a deep throat saw frame like this one? And I don't know if you can see that, but this is bendy, which means you don't have consistent tension on your saw blades. That means breaking more blades and more frustration. So I like that that is much more rigid. If you look here and your blade is loose, you can rotate the direction of your blade. If it's, see? And it snaps at 45 degrees. So here's forward, 45 degrees. You can also go in the other direction. Why is that important, you're asking? Well, I found that I always had a really hard time cutting a straight line. I know, this sounds really basic. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out why. I had to concentrate really hard to cut a straight line. And it occurred to me that it's because I'm right-handed and left eye dominant. So when I was cutting, I would automatically veer to one side. Why does this help? Well, it gets the saw frame out of the way. You can see, I'll hold some metal up. You can see as I'm sawing, because the blade is always pointed in the same direction as your knobs here. As I'm sawing, I can see exactly where my saw blade is going. I don't have the saw frame in the way, and I'm not leaning around the saw like this, which is much better ergonomically. So I can get that out of my way, and I don't have to worry about the saw frame being in my field of vision. It also can be handy for getting a little further into metal, but just get a deeper saw frame if you really need to cut that deep into metal. So That is the main reason I love this saw frame, because I can rotate the blade to get the frame part out of my field of view so I can really see what I'm doing. If I'm cutting something very, very delicate, I can put on my optivisor and get right down in there, like this close. Side view. This close if I wanted to. So that's why I love this saw frame. So, is it a necessary tool? No. But if you do a lot of sawing, piercing, or you really want to upgrade, this is a good suggestion. It has made my life a lot easier. So, there was my review on the new Concept saw frame. Hopefully I've answered your questions. Is it worth the money? Well, to me, yes. To you, it depends on what you're doing. But hopefully this information helps you make a better decision.